Hello everyone! I'm back! And I'm on camera! It's so good to see everyone. Welcome back to another Solus Game Studio livestream. It's great to be back. Unfortunately, I don't have a co-host with me today. It's just me, but we're gonna go over some Pocket Paragons characters that I haven't really played with very much and just kind of explore their abilities. Hi Brian, good to see you. So yeah, we're gonna go through Acquisitions Incorporated. They have a set of 8 characters, and we're kind of just gonna go through each one and take a look at their abilities and talk about them a little bit. That's the plan today. Nothing too crazy. I know that we've been offline the last couple of weeks, but it's not normal. Just had some at-home circumstances that kept me from being online with you guys, but I'm very glad to be back and to be talking about Pocket Paragons because I love this game. Very sweet and very cool. And I picked the Certainty Dran mat because it felt very thematic. So I guess we can go ahead and get into it. So let's take a look at Certainty. I feel like I've made a mistake by choosing this type of mat, but we're gonna make it work. It's gonna be fine. So Certainty's card. Certainty can banish her enemy's abilities permanently as long as she knows what they plan to do. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at her ultimate to start. At the end of each round, you may spend 1 energy and store one of your non-rest ready abilities face down. If you do, next round after abilities are revealed, reveal your face down stored ability, then exhaust it. If your enemy's ability matches the symbol on the card you stored, banish it. Okay, so we're starting off with a pretty complex character, in my opinion. This is a pretty advanced ability. Especially because it kind of puts you down on card advantage, it seems like. So it has to be one of the cards in your hand. So you're essentially playing an extra card to try and predict what your opponent is going to play. So that seems very difficult to use, but with a high reward if you're able to call what they have, because you get to banish it permanently, right? And your ability just gets exhausted, not banished. So if you're able to predict them, then you get major card advantage. But it's high risk, high reward, I think, for that. Let's see. Her affinity is her blue ability. So we have grab 3. And that's it. It's just grab 3. Okay. I feel like that's okay. I'm not crazy about grabs. I'm not the type of player to like play grabs a lot. I think they're just okay. Again, like you have to be very strategic with how you play a grab, right? Because you can only do damage some of the time. So let's take a look at the strength ability here. Block all damage dealt to you this round. If you have +1 or more energy, this ability can't be countered. Okay. So I feel like you're gonna have 1 or more energy most of the time. Pretty nice to not have this be countered pretty much ever, since your ultimate only spends energy when you choose to use it, right? A lot of her abilities are a little weaker than normal because her passive is nasty. Yeah, I think it would be interesting to see how she plays in practice. I don't know how much use I would get out of this passive just because it's so high risk. And maybe she's just not my playstyle personally, but I really like card advantage. And you're risking very big if you play the wrong card, right? Because you're putting yourself down and you're getting closer to the 50-50, and you might get executed if you play the wrong thing, right? So it's a little tricky, but I do like the strength card. Essentially just having an extra block that can't be countered most of the time. You're pretty much like almost guaranteed to have this not be countered, I think. Let's see what we got for the book ability. Swift. I love to see Swift. Like I said, I love card advantage. Swift is sweet, but no damage on this card. How are we dealing damage? Just grabbing? Where's the damage? How do I kill them? Is it just an execute character? So Swift heal 2, pretty simple, healing word, okay. Then we have her block. If you block damage, heal 1 for each enemy ability you have banished this game. Okay, calm emotion. So a little more healing, try and send certainty. It doesn't seem like she's doing very much damage. She is gonna need to be able to cross the gap and to keep her health up. So that seems solid to me. Then we have a green flame blade. If you have 2 or more energy, this ability's damage is unblockable. Okay, that's fine. This is gonna be your only damaging ability, it seems. Unless you land the grab, of course, which you probably will some of the time if you predict when they're resting, right? So having your execute be unblockable, I feel like is almost necessary without very many ways to damage your opponent. On top of... Are you gonna have 2 or more energy that often? I guess, yeah, probably. If you counter and rush, it's not unlikely. But I think if you're a person who plays Certainty Dran as like your main, then you're gonna also be the type of person that's gonna try to read and use the Vicious Mockery passive. Like, you wouldn't be the one to just ignore it, so you'd probably be trying to stay at 1 energy always to make sure that charm isn't being countered. But I don't know. Let's take a look at the rest. We have something special here. It's called Heaven's Luck. If you have banished 3 or more enemy abilities this game and you survive this round, execute your enemy. At the end of the round, ready all of your abilities and gain 1 energy. Okay. So this is like really, really incentivizing you to use the Vicious Mockery passive. So she really wants you to use it. Hi, Chris. Good to see you. Oh, I don't know. She seems really difficult. I think, like, what are the odds, like, to me, that the game goes on long enough for you to banish 3 abilities with Vicious Mockery? Because you're not going to hit every time, right? Like, you're almost never going to see this. But I guess if you're someone that plays this character all the time, then you already know that. And it'll just be, like, really, really, like, nice payoff if you're able to hit it. So it's something that you, as a Certainty Dran player, know is probably not going to happen, but feels really, like, really, really good when you're able to get it. So seems like a very interesting character. Definitely earns the 3-star expert difficulty, I think. I would never hand this character to a new player. Just because, like, I feel like this passive is, like I was saying before, just pretty advanced. But I like her kit overall. I do wish that she dealt a little bit more damage, but I'm just an aggro player at heart, you know? That's how I feel about things. I just want everything to be super aggressive. I would love if this book said deal 1 damage for each enemy ability you banish this game instead of heal 1. I wonder if that was something they tried in development. They probably did, but it maybe I'm not familiar with the character herself from Acquisitions Incorporated and if she is meant to be a healer. So maybe this is more thematic for her character, which is totally fair if that's the case. Doing a bunch of healing, not very much damage, but doing some sneaky banishment stuff. This seems like you need to be the reader of the century to play this character. But I like her. She seems kind of cool, kind of neat. Let's see. Alright, certainty. That's enough. I've seen you. I've seen what you have to offer me. Let's see. Evelyn Marthane. Well, let me pull her out. Nope. Oh, you can reset. How does this freaking work? I'm lost. I think I'm just gonna change seats. It's fine. That's the difference between choosing the standard setup and the legacy setup. But we can look at the sommelier. She's beautiful. Okay, so next up would be Evelyn Marthane. The art is really sweet, Brian. I love the art for this set as well. I think they did a great job. Okay. So Evelyn Marthane fights honorably, refusing to execute her enemy. In exchange, her god blesses her with increased power. Okay, so we're gonna see a character with no execute then, I'm assuming. Okay, and her passive, praise the sun. Let's go, a little Dark Souls reference, Solaire. Your abilities can't be countered and you can't be executed for 3 energy. That is huge, like really, really strong. It rightfully costs 3 energy. I would be gunning for that because like not being able to be countered. I feel like not being able to be countered is better than not being able to be like executed. But maybe that's because it's the card advantage thing. I also don't mind getting executed. Like if you get there, you get there, you know? Sorry, I'm having a little cat aggro in the background, if you can hear them. Alright, let's start off with her strength ability, since it seems that is her affinity. So 3 damage, big damage, lots of damage. If you have 2 or more energy, this ability has the following: stun and vicious. So it's really strong. This is like a super strong ability. Yeah, there's another character that comes to mind that has an ability that with vicious that does big damage like this. If you counter your opponent with this ability, you are dealing 6 damage, assuming you have 2 energy. And 2 energy is not that hard to get, right? This is something that your opponent, like, they cannot get hit by this card, like, literally ever. Even just the 3 damage, like 3 is a lot of damage. That's almost a third of your health, right? You only have 10. So very, very strong card. Let's see. Let's take a look at the blue card, Nature's Wrath. If you have 1 or more energy, block 1 damage, does 1 damage, super solid. I'm not mad about that at all. It's pretty straightforward and definitely good for her. Let's see, Lay on Hands, a little paladin, vulnerable. If this ability is countered, exhaust it, heal 1, ready this ability. Okay. I like this design as well, actually. Just being able to heal, but it being vulnerable, I think this is a really nice design. Then shield. Our defend card, Divine Health. While this is exhausted, when your enemy counters one of your abilities, you may ready this ability. Okay. So a little bit of a fail-safe. Of course, you don't ever want to get countered, but if you do, then this is a little extra protection for you. So that's nice. Then we'll take a look at the execute next, and it looks like her rest is just regular. Okay, 3 damage, big damn. We love that, and it's lawful. You cannot execute your enemy. Very fun. So you will die by fire. It has to be chipping away your health. You don't have to worry about being executed by this character. It won't be on your radar, right? Which is totally fine. I really like this design. This is exactly the type of character that I like to play. Just like, I don't know, she kind of like has a gimmick. I love gimmick characters. Like, haha, I can't execute you, but I can do all of these things. So I think she's my favorite so far, but we're only 2 characters in. I don't know. And this passive is such a high reward. It like really makes you want to go for the energy so that you can get it. But also, if you can't be countered, then you won't ever get your divine health back. So maybe that kind of sucks, but you can't be executed. That's pretty good. I don't know, Evelyn. I would say this character is like pretty straightforward. I don't know if I would label her as 2-star, but I guess like not being able to execute changes the flow of the game a lot. So maybe that's fair. But I like Miss Evelyn. I think I'm gonna try her out. We'll put her over by certainty. I don't know why it won't keep the character on top. I wish that it would. If I drop it, is it gonna go down? Nice, okay. Let me go grab certainty real quick. I'll move her over. Maybe I'll do a little character ranking of my personal opinion at the end of my favorites, and then maybe like character strength. This does not want to sit on top of it. Fine. Okay, so up next, Gym Dark Magic. Oh, I have to clear my play area. Don't do this to me. Is it gonna take her away? It's not. We're in. We have money. Okay, Gym Dark Magic. Jim has hard-hitting spells, but is limited by his spell slots. Make sure to play his biggest spells when they can't get blocked or countered. Okay. We have a 5 damage ultimate. I want to see this. Jim's Ultra Kill Blaster. Your enemy can't heal this round. If this ability is blocked, deal 2 unblockable damage. Store this ability and lose all energy. For 3 energy. Big 5 damage. I feel like this has got to be the highest base damage in the game. I've never seen a card with 5 or more damage on it. I think I've seen one with 4, but 5 has got to be the highest, I think. Unless I'm misremembering, but that's pretty bonkers crazy. Very, very neat. Big damn. Okay. So Jim's affinity is the book. Let's see. Fireball, 4 damage and vulnerable. I love that. High risk, high reward, right? So your opponent's going to be on the lookout for this, but if you're able to hit it, you deal almost half of their health. So get wrecked, I guess. That's kind of sweet to me. Okay. Strength card. Jim's Glowing Coin. Your enemy must exhaust an ability. If you have 1 or more energy, block 1 damage. I think this is fine. It's a good balance to the fireball for sure, because I feel like when you have a character that does so much damage, you need to have some offset, right? For some of the cards to not really do very much. So this giving you card advantage and potentially blocking a damage, I think that's really great for him. Very, very cool, very, very sweet, very nice. Let's take a look here. The blue card. Raw Unbridled Arrogance. So kind of still the same trend, no damage on this card, right? But it has stun. If this counters an enemy ability, you gain an additional energy. That's huge. Okay, we're ramping. We're ramping to Jim's Ultra Kill Blaster Plus. I would be looking to counter with this card so hard. And I would be hoping to like my entire being that my opponent doesn't know what this card does. Because if you're able to get the counter, like that is very, very huge for this character, I think. Imagine you get the counter with this like off the rip, then you rest and you have your ultimate immediately. Like, that's pretty nasty. I like that though. Okay. Let's see our block here. Cape of Dark Magic. If you don't block damage, ready this ability. I think that's huge, right? That's a really good block. This might be one of my favorite blocks, actually. Like, if I were doing the draft thing where you like take a card from each character, this would be one of my picks, I think, like if I was thinking about it. Because it's like, okay, if you get grabbed or like you end up taking damage or whatever, like you get your block back. That's huge card advantage, and you don't really get punished very much for missing out on your block. So I like that. It's kind of simple, but really, really useful. Okay, and then we have our execute our weapon card. The twins, your enemy can't heal this round, and 2 damage. 2 damage on an execute is big. We don't normally see 2. I feel like most of them are 1. So this is a really good damage ability for him as well. Especially if you can prevent them from healing, because a lot of characters have a heal, right? And then we just have our regular rest. So pretty well-rounded. I think that his kit is really well designed. I love this agility ability. If you can counter and ramp. That's very sickle mode. I like that a lot. He does feel a little bit greedy, but if all of your abilities are greedy, or most of them are, then what's the worst that could happen, you know? What could possibly go wrong? It just seems pretty sweet to me, I think. I don't know. Okay, I like Jim, okay? And I think basic is fair for him. I think his kit has more than meets the eye. Like, I would think that Evelyn is easier than him. But Evelyn has a gimmick, right? So she kind of goes up in difficulty just because she doesn't look like a normal character. But this guy's got stuff going on. I like Jim. Okay. I'm gonna do it like this just so I don't have to search the deck. Nice. Okay. No, I'll keep my ranking on this side over here. So Evelyn's my favorite so far, and Jim is moving up. Certainty moving down. Is it gonna be bad if my like favorites tier list is also what I feel is strongest to least strongest? That might be awkward, but I like to win, you know? Everyone likes to win. Okay, next up is Morgan. Morgaine. Morgaine hits hard right out of the gate and can disable your enemy's weapon to keep herself safe. She gets a 2-star advance, and her affinity is our agility card. Okay. And then our ultimate. Oh, this ability begins the game ready. So you're gonna start the game with your ultimate in your hand. Okay. So free 2 damage right off the bat. So it's kind of a weak ultimate in that it doesn't do anything. It's just 2 damage, but it's a free card in your hand. And since you get to start the game with it, I feel like that's pretty good. I'm in for that. It's interesting. Paid in advance. So let's take a look at the affinity. We'll have the agility card here. Precise shot. I'm assuming that Morgaine is a hunter character or like a ranger. So vulnerable, 2 damage. hit, your enemy may exhaust their weapon, and if they don't, attack +2. Really interesting. I'm thinking about this. I think having it be a choice for them to exhaust their weapon is really interesting. I'm trying to think, like, for me as the opponent, if like my opponent played this card, would I exhaust my weapon or would I take the 2 extra damage? I feel like in most cases I would just exhaust my weapon because saving the health seems worth it to me. I guess it probably depends on the character that you're playing. But I don't know. I think that I would want to save the health most of the time. It's vulnerable. I don't know if that's necessary. But I think that you would have to like playtest this card to feel how strong it is. Potential 4 damage is pretty big. If the enemy's weapon is already exhausted, they're always taking 4. Oh, I guess that's true. Okay, the vulnerable is fair. You're right, you're right. But it is, you have to hit also. But I guess if you're not hitting, then you've already failed to play it in the first place, right? I feel like, I don't know, if your opponent knows what you're doing and they're gonna save their weapon, right? And if they're not saving their weapon, then they're saving their strength card to counter you, right? So really interesting. I like this card. I feel like it's kind of mid. I don't know. Maybe I'm undervaluing it. I don't know. It's okay. All right, let's take a look at the strength card. If they're holding their weapon or losing their weapon, you're not getting exhausted. Yeah. I think it has the potential to be strong, right? Like 4 damage is huge. And having that be potential could be strong, but making it like optional, not like it's a conditional thing, right? That makes it a little less strong than some other cards, I think. And not being her affinity card, I'm assuming it's her strongest card. And it reads like that too. It has a strong design. So Colossus Slayer, our strength card, 1 damage. This has attack +1 for each energy your enemy has to a maximum of attack +2. Ah, why do we gotta put the gate on it? If your opponent is energy maxing, then they have to get punished for it. If you have 6 energy, I want this to deal 7 damage. I would kill to know if somebody was playtesting and there wasn't a gate on this. That would have been crazy. But then I guess this would have been her affinity card. But fair enough. So this can do a maximum of 3 damage. My guess is it probably does 2 most of the time. Your opponent will probably only ever be sitting on like 1 to 2 energy. So it usually wouldn't go higher than that anyway, right? But I like this card. This is a fun design. I'm a fan. And take the gate off of it. Ugh, I know it can't be changed, but I would kill for this to just be like an insane slam you for 6 if you happen to be playing a character that just stockpiles energy. That would be really funny. Okay. Let's take a look at our intelligence card here. Entangle. Okay. Grab 1. If your grab deals damage, your enemy must exhaust an ability. I like this card too. This is a really solid design, I think, as well. I like this card more than the grab 3 that we saw earlier on Certainty. I think like having a card that does a little like less damage but has utility is stronger than doing like just a zillion damage most of the time, right? But again, it's conditional, so you have to grab when they're playing rest or playing block, right? Or a block ability if they have something else that blocks. But I like it. It's kind of cool. A little entangle. I think it's also really thematic. It's really good. Really nice. Let's see our defend here. Pass without trace. If you block damage, heal 1. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. We see that on a lot of characters. And I think that it's a good one for this character to have with her kit. Our execute is very simple, just 1 damage. No, it's called flashing scimitar, but it's not very flashy. It's pretty straightforward. Maybe your weapon is always flashy, right? But that's pretty fair. And a regular rest. So we have a pretty straightforward character here. I think she's not super complicated. You have to remember that you start the game with your ultimate, which, so you're starting with an extra card against most characters that don't get to have that luxury, right? So I think that makes her, it inflates her strength a little bit, because this card could do nothing, but having it in your hand as an extra card to play, I think is valuable. So yeah, I think like it's hard to power rank this character because I feel like she's kind of middle of the pack maybe, and it's really hard to rate a character that starts with an extra card. So it's a tough one. I think I decide that she's strong. It feels strong to me. Starts with an extra card, has a card that could potentially do 4 damage. It seems pretty fair to me. Despite her defend and weapon being really base kit, the rest of these abilities feel strong. Together, especially, like in tandem, everything together. Okay, Morgane, I see you. I'm picking up what you're putting down. This is a character that I would have to play with, probably. Like, I'd have to do a lot of reps with this character to decide if I liked her enough to add her to like my main rotation of characters I play all of the time. So I like her more than Jim. No, I think Jim's cool. All right. Okay, these are my favorites so far. I feel like Certainty's getting a bad rap because I think her design is really, really cool. Like, really fun character. Would I enjoy playing her? Not at all. Not even a little. But, you know, we're getting there. Let's see what else we have. So next up is Omen Drawn. So related to Certainty. And we have like the Drawn family. Okay, well, I don't know the specifics of all that, but I assume that they're all related. So let's take a look at Omen. So we have a basic character. Omen is tough and durable. Use his healing magic to outlast your enemy and pound them into the ground. Okay. We have a passive here for 1 energy, Prophet of Profit. Whenever an enemy counters one of your abilities, block 1 damage dealt to you this round. Okay, super straightforward. I like that a lot. I'm excited to see where the rest of the kit goes from here. Okay. So we're Affinity Strength. Let's take a look at our strongest card here. Divine Strike. 3 damage, big. Block 1 damage dealt to you this round. If you have 3 or more energy, instead block all damage dealt to you this round. And you could, once you have 3 energy, that's online for the rest of the game. So if you're able to energy max, that seems really, really good. I'm a big fan. So we have a blocking theme going for sure. This guy's the tank. Okay, let's take a look at our agility card. 2 damage with Pierce. I love Pierce. I'm a Pierce enjoyer, okay? It just feels really good when you get blocked and then you pierce, like it mitigates some of the loss that you feel when you just get wrecked. You know? I'm a pierce fanatic, I would even say. If I could make a character, I would have every card have pierce on it, and I would just say get wrecked. So guiding bolt. I bet I could draft a character that every card would just have pierce. That would be sick. I'm in. I would make her like what are they called? They have like the rapier, the freaking desperado guys. Like not a musketeer. I don't know what they're called. Like they have like the fancy hat and they have the rapier and they're on guard. Okay, I'll give up. But every card should have pierce. That would be sick. All right. Cure wounds. Heal 3. That is a big heal. Huge. Okay. Are they called musketeers, Fear? I don't know. And not a fencer, because I feel like if you're a fencer and you're wearing the mask, it's kind of lame, right? Like that's not nearly as cool as like the fun hat and the, you know? I don't know. I'm thinking of specifically if any of you have played League of Legends and you know of the Royal Guard Fiora skin, that is the image I have in my head. Maybe they were inspired by the Three Musketeers when they made that skin. I'm not sure. But fair enough. They're French. And Fiora is French. Oh my god, you're so right. Maybe it is just a musketeer. Maybe it says Royal Guard because musketeer didn't sound as cool as Royal Guard. Anyways, back to Omen. Our cure wounds here, heal 3. This is massive. It's kind of unfortunate if your opponent is looking out for this and they play their heavy hitting card. But I feel like you're blocking a lot of damage too, so heal 3 is very, very good. Let's see what our defend looks like here. Night Forged Plate. If you block damage, heal 1. Okay. Simple, straightforward. Our weapon, Even Song. 1 damage. If you have 2 or more energy, attack +2. Okay. So we're energy maxing and we have a regular rest. Okay. I would like to ponder. I'm pondering Omen. So when his passive is online, whenever you get countered, you're blocking 1 damage. Ideally, in your typical game of Pocket Paragons, you're not ever getting countered. So maybe your passive isn't as strong as you would like, because you don't want to get countered. Like, you're trying to avoid that, right? So I don't know how I feel about the passive. I think it has the potential to be good. But if you're playing your top game and it's going how you want it to go, you're not getting countered ever. You're the one doing the countering. Divine Strike, I think, is really strong. Being able to both deal 3 damage and potentially block all damage dealt to you seems really, really good. We have the Pierce ability. I don't know if I understand this character having Pierce specifically. It seems kind of like a filler ability to me, which is fine. Sometimes characters need filler abilities, right? I wonder in practice how often this the Prophet of Prophet ability blocks damage for you. But I love the weapon. It's a late game tool for you to have. Early game doesn't do a whole lot, and late game is really impactful. So even if you miss that execute, 3 damage is big. And this heal 3, the heal 3 is really throwing me off because that's a big heal. It's a very, very large number. I feel like this is another one of those characters where I really would need to feel how he plays in practice. Because it's really hard to gauge how impactful some of these abilities are without playing him. I think the passive is kind of weak, but the rest of his kit is very strong. I don't know. I think a lot of his like strength hinges on this Divine Strike ability. And it is really good. I don't know how crazy heal 3 is. Like, obviously it's a big heal, but like, what if you get hit by Jim's Giganto Fire Blast or whatever? You're still taking 2. I don't know how I feel about this guy. I might have to ruminate on that a little bit. But I think I'll say he's mid. I don't think like he's insane. This doesn't feel like an insane character design to me. It feels really well balanced. I think he's feeling like a balanced character. Which is, I guess, probably the idea if you're trying to design characters overall. As far as being my favorite and like playing this guy, definitely not my playstyle. I don't think. He is super annoying. Where would I put him on this scale? I think I'm gonna put him below certainty. No hate to Omen or anything, but this is not the type of character that I enjoy playing. I really dislike having like conditional or dead cards, and I think that his ultimate really puts me off. Just really not being super useful. And it's like kind of more tedious than it is fun, in my opinion, for like my playstyle specifically. So let's see. Maybe he won't end up at the bottom. Next up is Portentia Drun. Okay, this is an expert character. Portentia can do anything her enemy can do, but better. It's not stealing if you legally acquired the rights to their abilities in a hostile takeover. Okay, Portentia. I like the concept. I like the character. Which is fun. And her ultimate is called Hostile Takeover. 1 energy. This copies the ability your enemy played last round, including Symbol. Whenever this ability would become exhausted, instead store it and lose all energy. Okay. Really cool design. Really annoying in play, I'm sure. Having to constantly keep track of the last ability that your opponent played could potentially be frustrating if it was countered or something. Does it count if they were countered? Yeah, it definitely does. Tedious ability. I understand why she's an expert character. This will take definitely having some forethought. And potentially really strong. If you're copying your opponent's best ability. You could potentially copy Jim's crazy Giga Fire Blast, right? So this is something that your opponent is always going to have to look out for. And it's only 1 energy, so you're going to have it most of the time. And this is a rest turn 1 character, if I've ever seen one, because you want to have this like off the bat. Okay, let's take a look at her affinity card. We have our Intelligent Infringement. Really liking the theme for this character. 3 damage, vulnerable. This ability copies the text box of the ability your enemy played this round unless they played their ultimate. Okay. Love that. That's very fun. I also like the vulnerable on this card. I think that makes it more fair. I'm a fan. This character is kind of seeming up my alley, guys. I don't know. So far. Well, let's see. Alright, agility card. Yet another betrayal. 2 with vicious. Potentially 4 damage. Really front-loaded character. This is a lot of damage we have in front of us. Because with this hostile takeover card, most of the time I feel like you're going to be copying your opponent's ability that does the most damage, right? Because damage is king. To me, anyway, you know, I don't really care about executing. I just want to kill, 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 you know, in a fun and friendly way. All right, let's see our strength card. Strong arm tactics, 1 damage. Hit your enemy must exhaust an ability. If your enemy played rest, ready this ability. Okay. This character is feeling a little cracked to me. This seems really strong. Am I crazy? I'm feeling crazy. 1 damage or hit your enemy must exhaust an ability. We have some card advantage. We have a dangerous threat here that they really want to make sure they're not countered by this ability. So characters that have book as their affinity are going to be like hyper vigilant of this, right? This card is just freaking sweet. Like the vulnerable doesn't even matter. Like it's really good. Okay, let's see our defend. If you block damage, you may ready an exhaust an ability matching the symbol your enemy played. Love that. It's conditional. You're not always going to get that, but it'll feel really good when you do. Let's see our execute. Shifter's Blade. If this ability is blocked, ready it. That is huge. Whoa, this character. Somebody cooked. Somebody cooked here. And we have a regular rest. I feel like I play my execute really often. I'm not an execute holder personally, and my execute does often get blocked because I feel like a lot of players, when they really aren't sure what you're gonna play, they will just play their block, and I am like a chronic executor. You know, like I feel like people, I don't want to let them get away with an early rest, even if it's just like 1 to 2 cards in their exhausted pile. So this character heavily complements my play style, just because she's like super, I feel like I love abilities like this that are kind of risky, but they're also really cool. You have a soft spot for villains, does it show? Yeah, this character's bonkers. Oh, I wish that we had tournament data for this character specifically. I would love to see how she goes up against some of the stronger characters like Jabali and Obninsk. We might have that tournament data, but I know that Acquisitions Incorporated and Space Lion were introduced a little later than most sets, so most of the OG Pocket Paragons players probably are not familiar with this set, right? But big fan, really big fan of this kit. It seems really strong to me, and it might be like sometimes situational, but I don't know, every card does something. Every single card. This is what I'm talking about, like characters not having a dead card. Like if you're playing Omen Dran and your ultimate's doing nothing for you, Hortensia is always a card up on you, like 100% of the time. I don't know. It's a rough situation. Yeah, I really like Portentia. She's really cool. I'm feeling really normal and not feral about it at this very moment in time. Okay. Hostile takeover can be really strong, but it can also be pretty predictable, easy to block. Yeah, the thing is that it's only one energy. Oh, do I like... I really like Evelyn too. I think Evelyn's design's really cool. Oh, that's a tough decision. I'll come back to that later. I don't know which one of them I like more. That's a tough ask. It's probably Portentia. I feel like every single one of her cards is cool. Well, we'll think about it later. No, there's no sharing, Brian. We have to be decisive. I like to be decisive. Alright, let's see. Next up is Profa or Profa? Let's see what we got here. We have a 2-star character. Omen's mother, Profa, has retired from the adventuring life, but give her enough time and she'll turn her healing power into unstoppable damage. Okay. So we're gonna have a heal and drain character, maybe? Passive, 3 energy. Whenever you heal, deal that much unblockable damage to your enemy. Whenever you would gain energy, heal 1 instead. Okay. So you have max 3 energy. I think. Okay. Let's see. Our affinity card is Strength. Renewed Faith. Heal 2. If this counters an enemy ability, you gain an additional energy. Love that. I think this is a sweet card. I think it's really fair for this to be her affinity card. I think ramping energy is really big for characters that have a 3 energy ultimate. Just because it can be hard to get up there and sometimes you need a little help. And something like this is really useful for your kit. Let's take a look at the agility card. An eye for trouble. 2 damage. Ignore enemy hit effects, even if this ability is countered. Okay. How many times is your opponent going to play a hit effect? I feel like it's not as often as you would think. Hit effects are already kind of risky, right? Because when they get blocked, they don't do anything. This scene is pretty simple. It's not too flashy. It's just, it is what it is. I like an eye for trouble being the title of this card. I think that it's really thematic. Motherly Wisdom. Block 1 damage, heal 1, ready and exhaust an ability. Okay. Card advantage with a heal and a block? That seems pretty good to me. I'm deciding it's gonna mitigate most cards, right? I actually think this is really good. I'm deciding it's really good right now at this very moment in time. I think being able to both block, heal, it can potentially counter your enemy, right? And you get to ready something you have exhausted feels really good to me. I like the Motherly Wisdom. Let's take a look at our defend. If you block damage, heal 1. I'm seeing a trend in this set. Is this the 3rd one of these we've seen in this set alone? Alright. We're having a lot of block damage, heal 1. Pretty straightforward. It complements her kit well, especially with the passive, right? Let's take a look at our weapon. Confessor. 1 damage if you are not dealt damage this round. Ready this ability. I don't know why I don't love that. I feel like it's not strong enough. But I don't know how thematic an execute would be for this character. I can't think of anything that like I would put in its place, right? I think it's fine. It's a lot like the if this is blocked, ready this. Yeah, it's definitely similar, but it's gonna happen less. I guess it could happen the same amount. They're essentially like the same kind of design. I feel like most of the time you are going to be taking damage. I don't know. I mean, I guess like they technically are the same thing. I mean, I guess technically even that this is better, right? Because it works against grabs. I don't know why I'm feeling weird about it. It's giving me a weird vibe, okay? Sometimes I can't explain it, and sometimes I can. It is like almost exactly the same as Pretentious, and I really liked Pretentious. But like this feels off to me with the rest of the kit. I don't know. Maybe I'm going insane. I don't know. We have a regular rest. Okay. So whenever we have to think about the context of the rest of these cards with the passive ultimate, right? Because this character really wants to play around this Duran and Courtier. So whenever you heal, deal that much unblockable damage to your enemy, and whenever you would gain energy, you heal one instead, right? And we have 3 cards that can heal you. We have the Strength card, Renewed Faith. We have Motherly Wisdom. And we have Keep the Peace. So if you get your ultimate online, those are potentially really strong. Like, they all become really good because they all have 1 damage on them, right? Her strength with the passive up, that can be heal 4, deal 4. I guess that's true. Yeah, potentially. I feel like the likelihood of that is pretty low. Like, there are characters where their affinity card is guaranteed 4 damage, right? But heal 2, deal 2 damage, like, on its own is already really strong. Because it's a 4 damage deficit, right? However you look at it. I'm trying to think. If this counters an enemy ability, you gain an additional energy. So you would gain 2 energy and heal 2 more. So it is potentially heal 4, deal 4. Which is absolutely bonkers. But again, the likelihood that that happens, I feel like is extremely low. But it would feel really good if it did happen. I think she's good. Isn't that a lot of characters work that way where you're chasing the dream? I think she's good. Again, like, I have a really hard time gauging exactly how strong healing is. And especially when you tack on this extra thing to it, where when you're healing, you're dealing damage as well. That could be, that's potentially incredibly strong. And if you are able to ready your strength card with your Motherly Wisdom and keep playing it, that's kind of big mode. But you really need, yeah, maybe really is a strong word. I feel like you really want your ultimate to be online. Because otherwise you're not going to be doing very much damage. Best character to teach a transition from 1-star to 2-star since you're constantly healing and using chip damage. Yeah, it's definitely a lot to keep track of as the player. I think 2-star is definitely a fair difficulty for this, just because you're having something extra to manage, right? I feel like this character is stronger than I'm giving her credit for. I think her kit feels strong. 3 energy is a lot. You're not going to get that until like late game. But you're going to be healing the whole time. You're going to make it to late game anyway, unless you get executed. This seems pretty good. Yeah, definitely needs that ultimate. But once she gets that ultimate, seem kind of sicko mode, you know what I'm saying? Where would I stack her up with all the others? In my personal favorite design and everything. Man, I might have to move some of these characters around as they're like sitting a little bit. I think I'm gonna move Morgane down. Just because she's not as interesting. I know we just had a crazy shift in my personal favorites, but listen, okay? The more these characters sit, like, the more they leave their stamp on my memory, right? She definitely is a vampire style character. I agree with you, Fear, for sure. Okay, this is my ranking so far. Well, let's see. We have one more character. It is Strix Bee Stinger. I'm excited to see this character. Okay. We have a 2-star. Strix's spells are powerful against specific ability symbols. Use her meta magic to change those symbols to what you need. Okay. We're about to read something crazy. I can feel it. Okay, free passive. After abilities are revealed, but before they resolve, you may change an ability symbol in your abilities text box to any symbol of your choice. If you do, flip this ability. Okay. I think this needs to be a 3-star character. Just because I think you have to be an expert. Like, what is the point of doing this if you don't know what you're doing? I think this should be a 3-star character. Oh, Brian agrees. And also, I feel like you have to be kind of card game savvy to not only understand this and use it, but also to be able to explain it to your opponent, right? Because if somebody has never played against this character before, you're gonna say this thing to them or you're gonna play it and they're gonna be like, huh? What? Wait, stop. You know? Yeah. Well, this is... After abilities are revealed, but before they resolve. So you do get to see your opponent's card. And if you do, you flip this. Okay. What is our flip? Oh, okay. It begins on this side. Well, let's relax a little, okay? Whenever you counter an enemy ability, instead of gaining energy, flip this ability. The Wrath of the Trash Witch. Okay. So it's not as crazy as I was thinking at first. It's not quite as cuckoo bonkers. So you want to look for a counter in which you'll get meta magic, and then I'm assuming that your kit will be online. So let's take a look. We have Intelligence Affinity. Unleash Waffles. Okay. Who had a hand in this card? Who had a hand in this character? Was it Jess? After seeing Massiverse, this feels like it would have fit. I definitely agree. Yeah, with the flip. Yeah, I agree with you. Waffles is the name of her pet apple bear. Oh, okay, okay. Very cute. Okay. 2 damage. Block damage dealt to you by intelligence abilities this round. If you have 2 or more energy, attack +2. Okay. Can you stock energy? I guess you can, yeah. Why not? This is a fun card. I like this design. I think it's a little, it has a conditional, a little niche, but it still does 2 damage, which is totally solid. And if you have extra energy, it's 4. That's a sweet card. I'm in for that. Let's see our strength card. Mounting Dread. 2 damage. Hit. Next round, if your enemy plays strength, they take 4 unblockable damage. Okay. Oh, I didn't think about this with the meta magic as well, because you'll be able to see what they play and block damage from it. Very sicko mode. I like that. And this just says, if you happen to have meta magic, you can't play this card. No one in their right mind is going to take 4 unblockable damage. Oh, you can even change it to rest or weapon. So you could force someone down. That's this seems really strong as well. I like that. Okay. We have Cackle. Big fan. 1 damage. Hit. Your enemy must exhaust their agility card if possible. Okay. This is pretty straightforward. I like that it synergizes with meta magic. I feel like a lot of the time we get an agility card that does this, and it just says, hey, your enemy must exhaust a card, right? It's not something specific. So this could potentially be even stronger if you're able to pick your opponent's card that is their strongest. Let's see our defend here. Polymorph into chicken. Why chicken specifically? I need to read up on my Acquisitions Incorporated lore. If you block damage, heal 1. If you block damage from a weapon, your enemy must exhaust an ability. I think that's sweet. Like I was saying earlier with Portentia, I feel like I am always playing my weapon into somebody's block. Like, it happens all the time, so this would get me. This would definitely get me. Yeah, I imagine there's a ton of lore that goes into this. I mean, and that's like part of when you design a character, right? You want to make sure that they fit their theme. Especially, I feel like it's even more personal when there's someone, like somebody created this character and chose her personality and everything, right? And that's very important. So you want to make sure to get it right for sure. Let's see our weapon card here. Staff of the Horned Crescent. Hit. If your defend is exhausted, ready it, and it does 1 damage. I feel like that's fine, yeah. Go off. We love Staff of the Horned Crescent. And we have a special rest. Comforting Feather. If your enemy played rest, heal 2. That seems really good. I mean, just having a little extra pizzazz on your rest. I don't know if this character is a villain, but she's feeling a little strong to me. How often are you gonna get meta magic, right? Yeah, the design is definitely like you want the meta magic, and you want to be able to make sure you can use this on any card you have in your hand. So you're not ever gonna get meta magic and then not be able to use it, which is really nice. That there aren't any abilities that don't synergize with it. I think we have potentially a lot of damage here. The Unleash Waffles is potentially 4 attack. Mounting Dread is 2 attack. And like your opponent, like I said before, like is not in their right mind if they take that 4 unblockable. But potentially 6 damage. We definitely have some grappling. This is a control character. She's giving control. But I like this a lot, I think. This character is not my play style. This is not a character I would play, I don't think. But I do think she has a really cohesive and interesting design. I think that she has the potential to do a lot of damage if you know how to use her. I think you do have to have a little bit of finesse when you're playing her. Because you want to make sure you can get this counter. And there are some people that I've played against that don't ever try to counter. Like, it's not something they're concerned with. So this would not be the character for them. And I typically like characters that really focus on countering. Maybe the meta magic just feels a little OP to me. Is it OP? I don't know. It seems good though. It's pretty solid, I'm thinking. Okay. I think I have a good feel for all of the characters now. Where would I put Strix on this list? For my personal favorites. I think I would put her here. Yeah. I think Portentia is gonna win just because she's cool. She's really cool. Okay. Let me give a little reasoning behind my tier list here. Again, this is not on how good I think they are, it's just my favorites, like thematically. Portentia. This deck's bonkers. I don't know. Like, not a single card that's bad. They're all really fun. And she's a really sweet design. I love a gimmick. And you'll see that both of these two characters, they both have a gimmick, right? Evelyn, I love not being able to execute your opponent. Giving yourself like kind of a forced handicap, but you get to be really strong because of that. I like that a lot. Jim is just a straightforward freaking fireball 5 damage to your face guy. Big fan. I really like Certainty's design. I think Vicious Mockery is really cool. I don't know if I think she's very strong, but I think this is the kind of gimmick character that I would play like on the side. Like, she wouldn't be on my main roster, but I might be like, yo, and just pull out Certainty every now and then to kind of have some fun with it. I don't think I would play her competitively though. Just because losing that card advantage can be really bad. Rafa? Not my playstyle. I think she's really strong. I think I would enjoy playing her more than the rest of these characters down here at the bottom. Especially if you're able to pull off something like the heal 4, deal 4, right? Strix gets the Shuma Garath Award. Tricky and likes dedication. Otherwise unloved. Oh, we don't want anybody to be unloved. I like all of these characters. There's not like a single deck here that I would say has bad design or that I would never play them. Like, I would potentially play all of these characters, right? But some are just like more my playstyle than others. Strix, I think, has the potential to be really strong. I think this character can be really strong. Not the kind of character that I think I would want to play. Maybe just because like managing the symbols is like a little too tedious for me, and I don't want to be like, haha, I countered you and now also get wrecked. Like, it feels a little too mean to me, maybe. And I like being trickstery, but I don't like making my opponent feel really bad. I feel like if you get countered, You're already feeling bad. I don't need to rub it in your face even more. Morgane, I don't think she's super interesting. I think starting with an extra card is really strong. I think she has the potential to be really strong. But her kit isn't really interesting to me. Just because it's kind of simple, right? Which is fine. We like a simple character. We love that. And Omen's kind of the same deal. I feel like he's really simple and straightforward. He has the potential to have some strong blocking abilities, but his passive is really situational and to me is a dead card, like I was saying before. It's just not something that you can reliably count on, and that kind of sucks. But yeah, I think that's my thoughts on the Acquisitions Incorporated characters. I would love to know which ones are your guys' favorite. And if it's not Portentia, then that's whack because she's obviously the coolest. And Evelyn. Evelyn's also really cool. I like her too. But yeah, I can't wait to play these characters now. I want to get some reps in with them to see how they feel in practice. Maybe I won't like Portentia as much when I start playing some games with her. You know, who knows? But I think that is the end of our stream today. I hope that you guys all had a good time listening to some Acquisitions Incorporated. And, you know, I haven't looked at these cards in a while, so it was really nice to get a refresher on them. And I don't remember looking at this character at all before, so I'm glad that I took a fresh look at these characters. I think that they're all really neat and cool. But I hope that you guys all have a wonderful rest of your night. It has been a little while since the Sparks came out. I feel like it's been multiple years. Has it been multiple years? I don't know. It's been a while. But I will see you guys next week for a review of possibly the Space Lion set, and hopefully I will have a partner on stream and we'll get to play some games. That would be sweet. Maybe I could play Portentia against someone and you guys could see it on stream and have me rave about her hostile takeover. Who knows? But have a good rest of your night, everyone, and I will see you next Monday for another Pocket Paragon stream. Bye-bye.
Real land,